for choosing Equinoxe Television. This is a 6 p.m. edition of the Primetime Newscast. First, our major stories. 13 students who went viral on social media over allegations of carrying out group sex in a locality known as Yatika, $3 subdivision are rejecting the accusations. According to them, their gathering had nothing to do in connection to group sex, but rather a study group. And in today's edition of the news, we'll also talk about politics, as some opposition political party members are spewing fire on the government for their controversial decision to authorize just 9 political parties to take part in the May 20th activities out of over 300 legalized political parties in the country. They term the decision as discriminatory, and it doesn't portray the Unity Day, which will be celebrated come May 20th. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. At least 13 students of a private school are being accused on social media for carrying out group sex in a private home in Yatika, $3 subdivision. This follows a video that went viral on social media. After watching the video, our reporter Malaglory went on a fact-finding mission, and here's what she heard and saw on the field.
These amateur videos circulating on social media platform for this now are some 13 secondary school students of a private school in Yatika, a neighborhood in the $3 subdivision. In initial reports, mainly on social media, the students are accused of indulging in a group sex. With this information, Equinoxe team decided to carry out an investigation which took us to the home where the act took place. Unfortunately, the woman of the house was absent but was able to recount the story on phone. A story which is totally contrary to what has been circulating on social media. The owner of the house reaffirms and rather accused them of stealing her food items.
On a fait que suspecter avec le mouvement, les cris des enfants et l'heure à laquelle les enfants sont entrés à la maison jusqu'à telle heure. Ils ont pris mes denrées alimentaires, ils ont préparé, ils ont mangé, ils ont acheté du vino, ils ont bu. Je dis, ça veut dire que vous avez pris mon argent.
One of the teenagers is a Form 3 student of this institute not far from the crime scene. We talk with the principal who denies the allegation placed on his students.
Nous avons pris la peine de fouiller des sacs. Nous n'avons rien trouvé, que ce soit préservatif, que ce soit comme drogue. Nous avons une amie de riz qu'ils ont préparé tout simplement, et le reste des sardines et autres qui étaient encore dans leur sac. Dire qu'ils ont fait des choses, non.
According to the student, what took them to their classmate home was group studies and not what they are accused of. However, such act is punishable following the internal rules of the school institution.
L'acte pareil est sanctionné par une exclusion temporaire. Nous nous apprêtons à convoquer les parents pour qu'on s'asseye en cause. On ne peut pas les exclure.
Meantime, 9 of the students involved in the act have resumed school, while the remaining 4 students are yet to be seen on campus.
And we stay right here in the city of Douala, though without due prenatal process. A 22-year-old girl who has been mentally ill for over 7 years successfully delivers her baby at the Douala Lakantini Hospital. Hapsatu, as she's called, ran away from her family house and has been living on the streets of Douala for the past 3 years, during which she got impregnated by an unknown person. Fomi Armstrong Sanda reports.
It wasn't only news of her childbirth, but also that of her discovery that brought untamed joy to her mother and family members. 22-year-old Hapsatu had been missing for over 3 years. Family members say that the young mentally deranged woman has remained missing since she left her family residence at the New Gange neighborhood of the city of Douala in 2021. Her mother says she has been restless since Hafsatu went missing. Her entire family remained deeply worried about what she had become, how she was faring, and how she was feeling, considering her mental state, according to her mother. She reveals that Hafsatu went mentally ill at the age of 16 upon her arrival from the city of Kribi. Despite efforts employed by family members, things went from bad to worse, leading to her abandoning the house in 2021. While her whereabouts was a mystery to family members, Hafsatu found refuge in the streets of College Polyvalent in the Bali neighborhood of the city of Douala, where she later got impregnated. Hafsatu carried her baby for 6 months without any prenatal visit before being urgently rushed to the Douala Lakintini Hospital following a road accident. She was knocked by a car wheeled. A psychiatrist at the Douala Lakintini Hospital, Dr. Huren Zefu, reveals that Hafsatu got admitted to the psychiatric unit after she was noted to be mentally unstable. While there, she was being simultaneously attended to by gynecologists and psychiatrists. Dr. Gap Blandine of the maternity ward says Hafsatu progressively regained her memory with treatment. It was in that state that Hafsatu led the hospital staff to her family residence in the Ngage neighborhood after being successfully delivered of a baby. Within 6 months of mental health issue, Hafsatu, who was in her second childbirth, is now a mother of 2. The father of the child is still at large.
And now we talk insecurity. The Islamic terrorist sect Boko Haram continues terrorizing inhabitants of Fotokol and Gambaru neighborhoods in the far north region of the country. During their most recent attack, they destroyed public buildings, schools and health centers. Due to these challenges, the governor of the far north region, Mijiawa Bakari, decided to assist some of these victims. We have details with Cedric Chakutio.
Attacks, killings and kidnappings have been the order of the day in the far north region for over 8 years now as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. Inhabitants of Fotokol and Kambwaru have equally been having sleepless nights due to the multiple attacks perpetrated by the terrorists. Schools, health centers and even public buildings have been destroyed in these localities.
Their aim is to destroy all things who have a link, a real link with scholarship, school, development, scientists, intellectual, and so forth.
Due to these challenges, the governor of the far north region decided to help inhabitants of these localities. He also took this opportunity and visited the river and border police stations.
Right now, we have constructed school, hospital, custom services, police, gendarme. That's why. That's to say that Boko Haram is defeated.
The governor of the far north region, Mijiawa Bakari, assured the inhabitants of Fotokol and Gamboaru of concrete measures taken to ensure their safety.
Now to one of our major lead stories. Only 9 out of over 350 political parties in Cameroon have been selected to march at the 20th May Boulevard in Yaoundé by the Senior Divisional Officer for the Fundi Division. A political actor, Dr. Nick Guayam, sees the decision or the selection to be appropriate while raising the fact that it is practically impossible for all political parties to parade. Meantime, CRM militant Far Elvis Tayon rather spits fire at the BS regime for preventing strong opposition political parties from brandishing their powers to unseat the regime in the part of the world. Innocent Aze has the details.
Out of over 350 political parties born from multi-party politics in Cameroon, only 9 of them have the green lights to parade at the 20th May Boulevard in Yaoundé, when the nation will be celebrating national unity. From a communique signed by the Mfunzi SDO, these are political parties with representatives in parliament.
I call this a monumental administrative error. It is a calculated attempt by the regime to stifle the presence of outstanding political parties that are on the move to unseat the regime in Yaoundé. It is a call for concern and unconstitutional.
Political actor Dr. Ning Wanyam is not on this path.
Probably this is a selection criteria which allows for the very serious parties that have been sacrificing in national development to do that. So there's always some kind of criteria of selection that would favor some people and that would not favor some people.
Far Elvis Tayong, who CRM party is excluded from March past activities, thinks the Minister of Territorial Administration should be defending the excluded political parties.
When Minat was busy legalizing over 400 political parties, what were they thinking of? Were they legalizing illegal parties? It is a breach of trust and a breach of the national unity put in place by President Paul Biya. How do you legalize parties that you cannot permit them exercise their civic duty of manifesting national unity and democracy? It is a sham and a total disgrace.
Dr. Nick says the selection makes sense, highlighting impossibility for over 350 political parties to march on a single day.
Realize that when you are not represented in councils or in the parliament or wherever, then you are excluded from most of the things that will be happening. I think it's a signal that those that want to be marching in the future should participate and win elections.
The criticizing CRM party strongly believes the restriction is manifestation of fear by the Biya government. Some opposition political parties will showcase their powers capable to unseat the ruling regime to the world in 2025.
Away from politics, entrepreneurs in Douala have been schooled on the rights and duties vis-à-vis some tax collectors and other state agents. It was during a meeting between officials of the Ministry of Commerce, Consumer Rights Associations and business people. The merchants have been complaining of frequent extortion. Annabella reports.
Business persons in the city of Douala, just like those who own businesses in most commercial towns of Cameroon, are often faced with numerous setbacks. Such problems range from harassment to exorbitant tax payments. Tike Raphael, one of the participants, assimilated the vital lessons.
You have your right as a businessman to ask them what they are for and where they are coming. If their boss is aware of their coming, so they have to show you the mission order signed by their chief that they have come to control you.
The consumer rights and protection stakeholders schooled the entrepreneurs present on what they should accept and other aspects they must say no to.
To avoid them coming all the time and lock our shop, because we noticed that they have never tried to explain to us what is our right on what we have to do our business without no problem. But they just come and tell you what you don't understand. If you want to ask, they don't listen. But when you pay, they don't show you where the money is going.
They come together, also permitted these business persons not only to know their rights, they too have duties or responsibility when it comes to fiscality and price control.
Les opérateurs économiques pourront savoir à quoi s'attendre lorsqu'ils ont un contrôle.
It is imperative for business owners, be they retailers or wholesalers, to know their rights so as to avoid being duped or extorted by some fake state agents.
And now we talk something else. Land law experts are now striving to reverse the rising trend of land disputes and conflict in Cameroon. They are using land law education as a tool to solve the problem. This was the focus of a conference that took place today at the University of Douala. Babla Jonathan reports.
Land disputes and conflicts continue threatening peace and social cohesion in Cameroon. Disputes and conflicts between individuals and groups of persons and communities are rife, especially in major urban centers.
There is a multiplicity of land disputes, not only in the courts in Douala, all over the national territory.
Expropriation issues, even within the city of Douala, it becomes problematic when the rights of the community, the indigenes, are not taken into consideration. Women's issues as to the acquisition, ownership of land, issues of farmer-grazier problems that are rampant.
Land law experts blame the problem to a greater extent on ignorance of stakeholders and the population in general.
The problem is that of ignorance on the part of most of the actors and even the citizens. Most of the women do not know their rights. They have been trapped by the traditions to think that women cannot inherit, women cannot own land.
Some just go and they buy land, they sign a document that is a document for the sale, but which is not a deed of transfer over landed property. So it's due to their ignorance. They can get it to the police to have it stamped, but that's not the proper way to do it.
These experts are edifying participants at this conference organized by the Faculty of Law and Political Science of the University of Douala on what everyone should know concerning land rights, ownership and transactions in Cameroon.
Until the individual or the corporate body goes through the process of registration to acquire land title, the property belongs to the state.
Under Cameroonian law, a woman can acquire land, a woman can enjoy land, and a woman can sell land. The most important thing is for them to cover themselves with the laws that are enforced.
The English Law Department of the Faculty of Laws and Political Science of the University of Douala hopes to reverse the trend of land disputes and conflicts in Cameroon through such educative strides.
10 reporting there. No Elite 2 club received complete salaries in the just ended season. The revelation was made by the Secretary General of the Cameroon Footballers Trade Union, Sinafok Daniel Blaise, during a press briefing in Douala. He goes further to say that the president of the Women's Super League also gave fake information about their club's salary situation. A sportsman Smaji Kangable completes that story.
During the press conference with some media practitioners in Douala, that the Secretary General of the Cameroon Footballers Trade Union, Sinafok, denounced the poor treatment given to female footballers in the country by the club owners. These managers have bad faith in the Women's Super League. Club presidents gave bank information of players who are not still playing with them in the place of those who are present. On the table, we noticed all salaries have been paid, but going in depth, we noticed players who haven't received any time, but they are playing with the club. The declarations of the Secretary General of Sinafok came when the barometer for the month of April showed all was going well with the Women's League. The players are living in a precarious condition. This is because the clubs don't have the means or aren't given the means to pay their salaries and other complementary elements that follows. The Secretary General of the Cameroon Footballers Trade Union, Sinafok, was accompanied during his outing by a player of Avion Academy of Douala who wasn't happy with the treatment they received in the course of the season. At the end of the season, the president is accusing the players to be the cause for the club's relegation and that he will not release any of us. Throughout the season, we had no team doctor and a fitness trainer. We still have players at home who are injured till now. Sinafok has just one request: to fake a foot. The federation has to take its responsibility and allow us to take part in the Elite Championship next football season so that clubs will abide to the rules, which is a guarantee of paying players their salaries. According to the Sinafok barometer, 4 out of the 18 Elite 1 clubs, Katonspor of Gadwa, Dynamo of Douala, Stade Rennais of Melong and Victoria United, paid complete salaries to their players, while in the Elite 2, out of the 16 clubs, none was able to pay complete salaries to players.
And that's it for the first part. Talking Point is up next. And my guest for tonight is Ba Akwe Nadia, UPC Youth Wing Leader. Good evening. It is a pleasure having you on Talking Point tonight.
Good evening to you, Madam Immaculate Fogwe, and thanks for the invitation. Special greetings to all the millions of televiewers of Equinoxe TV. It's a pleasure having me on your prestigious...
Ba Akwe, as one of the frontline female politicians in Cameroon, what are some of the challenges that you and other female politicians are facing on the ground?
You see, Madame Immaculate Fogwe, being a woman Or better still, being a female and being into active politics in Africa, the black continent, and in Cameroon as a small entity is not really that easy, okay? We go through a lot. We face so many challenges. There is a lot of misconception about who we are. There is a lot of prejudice about our personalities. It's not really that easy. The men would look down on your capacities and your abilities. They will disrespect you. Some will go as far as telling you that the place of a woman is in the kitchen, forgetting that we are in the 21st century, where the capacities and abilities of a woman is valuable to the society. And the most aching thing about this battle is our fellow peers, our fellow women. They will be the first people to propagate hate speech against women who are into active politics. And most of these people are into passive politics, okay? Because everybody is a born politician. You're either pro something. Being an active politician is one that takes actions, okay? It's one that says things and take actions for the betterment of the society. That is why I always tell women, stop looking down on yourself. Stop being a prey to most of these men who tell you that you are not supposed to be in active politics. It is a lie. It is only through politics that you enter into the National Assembly. It is only through politics, being an MP, that you vote laws that will favor you, will favor us, so that we will be on that table of decision. So women should not succumb to that, to all the challenges and difficulties, and brave all odds and become active politicians.
Now, Nadia, close to 400 political parties exist in Cameroon, with close to 40 recently authorized by the MINAD boss, that is Mr. Paula Tanganji. But only 9 will be taking part in the May 20th National Unity Day celebration in Yaoundé. What do you make of this?
You see, Madame Immaculate Fogwe, the BIA government will not stop amazing me. This government will not stop surprising me at every level. We are talking of a country that boasts of multipartism. We are talking of a country that boasts of roughly 400 and a plus political parties scattered around the triangle. I don't know the criteria they use in selecting the 9 parties, political parties, who take part in the 20th May March Pass 2024. And to be more surprised, these political parties were legalized by you guys. So why boycott them today? Why are you boycotting them today? At some point, I am compelled to say that most of these are leaders, our government. They don't even know our constitution. They don't understand our rules and regulations, our laws. They take actions, decisions, just like that, without seeing if it is in accord with our constitution, with our rules and regulations, with our norms, and with what we are trying to fight for, because we are fighting for national unity. We are talking of national unity. That's the significance of the 20th May, right from 1972, during the reign of Aijo, till the reign of President Biya, which is already 42 years, day to day, month by month, year in, year out. Okay? We are talking of national unity. These political parties are not only filled with politicians. Before you want to be a politician, you are a citizen of this country. And as a citizen of this country, it is your civic responsibility. It is your civic responsibility. So it is non-negotiable. I don't know why they want to use their personal grievances, their failures, or their frustration to Cameroonians.
Now, I would like to know, do you think such a decision can send a message of discrimination, which therefore desecrates the National Unity Day, which we are going to be celebrating on May 20th?
You see, Madame Immaculate Fogwe, this will not only be seen as discrimination, but it can go as far as provoking something else. Because it is huge. It is alarming. How can you ask people not to go and march, not to go and carry out their civic responsibility? It's the same as the Minat boss said, political parties, opposition parties, who are forcing citizens to go and register into the electoral list. Look at a communique from a statesman, a minister, someone who is supposed to be as an example, who is supposed to provoke good actions. Yet, they are the ones provoking bad actions, pushing Cameroonians to the wall. How can you tell someone not to go and register, which is a civic responsibility? And today, you're telling political parties filled with citizens not to go and march, not to go and give value to our national unity. It is a commemoration of our national unity, of that bond. So, madam, it can not only be called or will not only be looked upon as discrimination. It could boil down to other...
The case of the PCR in the party, Minat boss Paul Atanganji bans the party from taking part in the parade due to internal conflict said to have been provoked by administrative interference, notably that of Minister Paul Atanganji, who instead of selecting the elected President Cabral Libi, he rather prefers recognizing the founder of the party, Robert Kona. What do you think about this?
You see, Madame Immaculate Fogwe, for the case of the PCRN and the note that the Minat boss signed, telling them that they will not take part in the 23rd May March Pass, with reasons like they have internal conflicts. They are not in accord with themselves. They are scattered, okay? There's not that unity in the party. This is not the first time that such is happening in Cameroon, okay? The UPC has suffered that in the hands of this regime. Even right from the time of Aijo, the UPC has gone through a lot. We didn't participate in so many elections, okay? Because they said we are not united, that we are having internal conflicts, which to me is not a good reason for you to stop someone from participating, from taking part in their civic responsibility of their country. As I will say and I will keep saying, these political parties or the PCRN is filled with Cameroonians. And these Cameroonians are Cameroonian citizens. Okay? So it is their basic right for them to take part in that March Pass. Their internal conflicts don't concern you guys in your government. It is not your political party. It is not for you. Okay? And this is not a reason that should be given.
Now, Nadia, what is happening to the PCRN is synonymous to what happened to the UPC and the CPP. In the case of the CPP, we saw how the same minister recognized Professor Tita rather than the current president, Edith Kabangwala, despite winning the court case. Commentators have defined this as a divide and rule strategy of the government. Let me know your thoughts on this.
The UPC has suffered, where the Secretary General, which is the greatest hierarchy of the UPC, is being appointed by members of the government, which is a taboo. The same thing was done with Edith Kawalai, and now the PCRN. There is something I would like us to understand here. The case of the PCRN is different, is an exception. The Minat boss is not appointing a leader in this party. Papa Conal Robert is a founder of the PCRN. Some members of the PCRN will call him a co-founder. From what I know is, he is a founder of the party, so he's not been appointed. The Minat boss is simply playing his cards very well. Okay? He's simply destabilizing the party, that's all. He's not appointing, like in the case of Edith Kawalai and the UPC. No. The PCRN is different. Because I was a member of that political party, so I know very well. That party came to the limelight when Honorable Cabral Libi, took the commandment of that party. Okay? But it doesn't make him the president. Because Papa Kona Robert, looking at what Papa Kona Robert said his utterances, he said that the Congress of Garoua was not a Congress. The Congress that made Honorable Cabral be the president was not a Congress. It was a meeting, and it was transformed. I wasn't there, but from what I heard, that's what I heard. So the case of the PCRN is different. The Minat boss is not appointing, okay? He's not appointing a leader like in the case of the UPC and the PCRN.
Ba Akwenade, UPC Youth Wing leader. That's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs on ETV. Have a wonderful evening.